I used to think love was loud, something dramatic, something that arrives like a storm and demands attention. But over time, I learned that real love is quiet. It doesn't rush, it doesn't beg to be seen, it waits patiently until you're ready to become the person it deserves. Today I'm standing here not because life was perfect, but because it was honest. Because through every silence, every struggle, every moment of becoming, there was a future I kept choosing, a future where you exist. You are not just the woman I love, you are the peace I didn't know I was searching for, the strength that feels gentle, the reason forever doesn't feel heavy, it feels right. This isn't a promise made out of excitement, it's a decision made with clarity, to walk beside you, to grow with you, to choose you every single day for the rest of my life. I never believed love was something you chase because the harder you run after it, the more it turns into noise. And I learned early that the most important things in life don't arrive with noise, they arrive with presence, with stillness, with a feeling that doesn't demand attention but holds it. And before you, I thought love was about being seen, about being understood all the time, about being saved from loneliness. But what I discovered instead was something deeper and far more honest. Love is a choice you make when no one is watching, when the room is quiet, when the world has stopped applauding, when all that remains is the truth of who you are and who you are willing to become. I didn't come here because life was easy. I came here because life tested me, shaped me, slowed me down, and forced me to sit with myself long enough to understand what really matters. I learned that love isn't fireworks that burn bright and disappear. It's the steady light that stays on when the night gets long. It's the courage to remain gentle in a hard world. It's the strength to stay open when closing your heart would be easier. And every step I took toward the man I am today was quietly preparing me for you, even when I didn't know your name, even when I didn't know your face. You are not the answer to my problems. You are not the escape from my past. You are not the dream that distracts me from reality. You are the reality I choose to build with intention, with patience, with respect. Loving you doesn't mean I stop being myself. It means I become more honest about who I am. It means I show up without armor, without pretending. To have everything figured out, it means I stand in front of you as a man still learning, still growing, still willing to listen, still willing to change. I used to think commitment was about certainty, about knowing everything in advance, but love taught me something better. Commitment is about courage. It's about choosing the same person even when the future feels unclear, even when fear whispers doubt, even when the road ahead asks more from you than you expected to give. Loving you is not a moment, it's a direction. It's the decision to walk forward together, not because the path is perfect, but because walking alone no longer makes sense. When I imagine forever, I don't imagine perfection. I imagine mornings that begin quietly, conversations that don't need to be finished, disagreements that don't turn into distance, laughter that heals what words cannot. I imagine growing older without growing apart, learning each other again and again, forgiving quickly, holding hands without needing a reason, choosing kindness even on days when patience feels heavy. You are not my future because you complete me. You are my future because you walk beside me, because you respect my silence, because you understand that love doesn't need to be loud to be powerful. With you, I don't feel the need to perform, to impress, to prove my worth. I can simply be. And that is the rarest gift one human can give another. Standing here today is not the end of a journey. It is the quiet beginning of a promise lived daily. A promise to show up even when it's uncomfortable, to listen even when it's hard, to stay present even when life pulls in every direction. Loving you means choosing honesty over pride, patience over ego, connection over winning. It means understanding that real love isn't found, it's built slowly, carefully, with intention, with trust, with time. I don't promise a life without struggle, because struggle is part of becoming, but I promise that you will never face it alone. I promise to be steady when the world feels uncertain, to be calm when storms arrive, to be present when words fail. This love is not made of grand gestures, it's made of consistency, of showing up again and again, of choosing you not just when it's easy, but especially when it's notty. Learn that growth doesn't come from comfort, it comes from staying when leaving would be easier, from listening when defending yourself feels safer, from patience that stretches you beyond what you thought you could carry. And before you, I believed love was supposed to rescue me from my broken parts. But what you showed me, without ever saying it, is that real love doesn't rescue. It stands beside you while you do the work yourself. It gives you space to grow and the courage to face what you've been avoiding. Life has a way of slowing you down when you're not ready. It puts weight on your shoulders so you can discover your strength. It takes things away so you learn what truly matters. And every delay, every disappointment, every season of waiting was quietly teaching me how to be patient enough for something real, something lasting, something worth protecting. Because love that arrives too fast often leaves just as quickly, but love that grows through time learns how to stay. With you, I understood that patience is not weakness. It's devotion in motion. It's choosing understanding over reaction, silence over unnecessary words, presence over control. It's knowing that not every problem needs to be solved in the moment. Some just need time. Some need listening. Some need two people willing to sit in discomfort without turning away. And that kind of patience changes you. It makes you softer without making you smaller, stronger without making you hard. We are not perfect people meeting at a perfect time. We are two lives shaped by experiences, mistakes, lessons, and unfinished healing. And that's what makes this real. Growth happens when you don't pretend to be complete. When you allow someone to see your rough edges and choose you anyway. Loving you has taught me that vulnerability is not exposure, it's trust. And trust is built slowly, through consistency, through honesty, through showing up the same way on ordinary days as you do on the important ones. There were moments when I didn't have answers, when the future felt uncertain, when doubt tried to convince me that waiting was wasting time, but patience taught me that some things are not delayed, they are being prepared. And in that preparation, I was becoming the kind of man who could love without fear, without rushing, without needing guarantees. Because real love doesn't demand certainty, it asks for faith. Growth also means unlearning, letting go of the habits that protect you but keep you distant, releasing the pride that stops you from apologizing, breaking the patterns that once kept you safe but no longer serve the life you want to build. And loving you has challenged me to look at myself honestly, not with judgment, but with responsibility. Because when you choose someone, you also choose to grow for them, not to see change who you are, but to become who you're capable of being. I've learned that patience is how love breathes. It gives room for mistakes, for learning, for becoming. It understands that people don't grow in straight lines, that some days are steps forward and others are quiet pauses. And choosing you means honoring every phase of that journey, not just the highlights, not just the easy seasons. Standing here, I don't see patience as waiting for life to begin. I see it as the way life has been teaching me how to love you better, how to stay grounded when emotions rise, how to choose calm over chaos, depth over speed, meaning over urgency, because the love we're building isn't meant to rush toward the future. It's meant to last inside it. I used to believe love meant finding someone flawless, someone who fits perfectly into an image I created in my mind, but life corrected me gently and repeatedly, showing me that perfection is not only unrealistic, it's unlivable, because perfection leaves no room for grace, no space for forgiveness, no patience for growth. And what I found with you is something far more real. Partnership, two imperfect people choosing to move in the same direction. We don't stand here because we have all the answers. We stand here because we're willing to ask the questions together. Because partnership is not about one person leading and the other following. It's about walking side by side, adjusting your pace when the other is tired, sometimes carrying the weight, sometimes being carried, always aware that strength is shared, not owned. Loving you taught me that being right is less important than being kind, that winning an argument can still mean losing connection, and that partnership means choosing understanding over ego. It means listening not to respond, but to truly hear. It means recognizing that your perspective doesn't threaten mine, it completes it. There will be days when we don't see the world the same way, when our opinions collide, when silence fills the space where words should be. And partnership is not pretending those moments don't exist, it's staying present inside them. It's trusting that disagreement doesn't equal distance, that tension doesn't mean failure. It simply means we're human and still learning each other. I don't need you to be perfect, I need you to be real, and I offer you the same, not a flawless man, but an honest one, someone who will admit when he's wrong, who will learn instead of defend, who will choose repair over pride, because partnership is built in those moments, not in the easy days when everything flows naturally. With you, love doesn't feel like a performance. There's no script to follow, no role to play, no expectations to meet. There's just two people committed to showing up as they are, trusting that authenticity is stronger than illusion, that effort matters more than image, that consistency builds what passion alone cannot sustain. Partnership means understanding that some days love looks like laughter and warmth, and other days it looks like patience and silence. And both are valid, both are necessary, both are part of the same promise. A promise to stay engaged even when emotions are quiet, to stay connected even when excitement fades into routine. I don't see you as someone meant to complete me, because I am already whole. I see you as someone who chooses to share a life with me, and that choice is powerful. It's intentional, it's deliberate, it's renewed every day, through actions that don't seek applause, through care that doesn't need to be announced, through commitment that lives in the ordinary moments. Standing here, I know that love isn't about becoming one person. It's about becoming a strong partnership, two individuals growing together without losing themselves, honoring differences, protecting the bond, building something steady enough to hold both dreams and disappointments. Something real enough to last. Forever used to feel like a heavy word, something too big to promise, too far to imagine. But loving you changed the meaning of it for me. It no longer feels like a distant future or an unbreakable vow spoken once and left untouched. It feels like a series of small, deliberate choices made daily. Choices to stay present, to remain honest, to keep showing up even when time tries to pull us in different directions. I don't see forever as a straight line. I see it as a shared road with turns we won't always expect, seasons that will test our patience, moments that will demand more than comfort, and others that will reward us with quiet joy. And what matters to me is not predicting every step ahead, but knowing we will face each one together, adjusting, learning, supporting, never walking away from the work that love requires. A shared journey means understanding that life will keep changing us, that the people we are today will not be the same people we are years from now. And loving you means choosing to meet you again in every version of yourself, to learn you in new ways, to let go of who you were so I can fully love who you are, Biko. Ming, and trusting that you will offer me the same patience. There will be times when the world feels loud and demanding, when responsibilities weigh heavy, when dreams feel delayed, and in those moments forever won't look like romance. It will look like resilience, like holding space for each other when energy runs low, like choosing calm over reaction, like remembering that we are on the same side even when stress tries to convince us otherwise. Walking this journey with you means celebrating progress, not perfection. It means honoring the effort, even when results take time. It means finding meaning in the ordinary days, because those days make up most of life. And I want to live them with intention, with gratitude, with the awareness that shared routines, shared silence, shared laughter are not small things, they are the foundation. I don't promise to always know the right words, but I promise to stay engaged, to listen beyond the surface, to keep my heart open even when it would be easier to shut down. Because forever is not protected by grand declarations, it's protected by consistency, by respect, by the willingness to keep choosing connection over distance. As we move forward, I don't measure our journey by milestones alone, but by how we treat each other along the way, by how safe we make it to be honest, how free we allow each other to grow, how steady we remain when life shifts beneath our feet. Because a shared journey is not about arriving somewhere perfect. It's about becoming something real together, step by step, day by day, hand in hand, into a future that feels less like a destination and more like a life we continue to build together, without fear, without rush, with trust, with commitment, with love that understands time not as an enemy, but as a companion walking beside us. I don't think love is proven in the moments when everything is easy. I think it reveals itself when life becomes demanding, when days blur together, when energy runs low and expectations rise, because commitment is not built on excitement. It's built on endurance, on the quiet decision to stay engaged even when the spark isn't loud, even when the world is pulling attention in every direction. Choosing you in those moments is not an obligation, it's an intention. Commitment means understanding that love will change forms, that it won't always look like passion or romance. Sometimes it will look like responsibility, like showing up tired but present, like listening when silence would be simpler, like doing the small things consistently without expecting recognition, because the strongest bonds are held together by what happens when no one is watching. I don't see commitment as a cage or a limit. I see it as freedom with direction, the freedom to be fully yourself without fear of abandonment, the freedom to grow without worrying that growth will create distance, the freedom to fail and learn knowing that someone is still standing beside you, choosing you again not because you are perfect, but because you are real. There will be moments when life tests us, when pressure replaces patience, when misunderstandings create space between us. And commitment is not denying those moments exist. It's refusing to let them define us. It's choosing repair over retreat, conversation over avoidance, understanding over assumption, because walking away is easy. Staying present requires strength. Choosing you means choosing effort even on ordinary days, even when love feels quiet, even when routine replaces novelty, because commitment understands that depth is not created by constant excitement. It's created by stability, by trust that grows slowly, by a bond that doesn't depend on constant reassurance to survive. I don't promise to always get it right, but I promise to always return to the promise, to reflect instead of react, to learn instead of blame, to keep choosing us, even when my pride wants distance. Because commitment is not about never failing, it's about never giving up on the work that love requires. This choice is renewed daily, not through words spoken once, but through actions repeated over time, through respect shown in disagreements, through loyalty practiced in temptation, through patience exercised in waiting, and that repetition is what turns love into something unbreakable, something steady, something safe.